Hello, everyone. This is Tracy D. Armstrong, and welcome back to What's Your Mess? Mental, Emotional, Social Status of Life. And again, we have another special guest joining us to tell us a little bit about their mess. And we have today Mrs. Sheena Johnson. Sheena, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Sheena Johnson, and I am an author and business owner and Christian counselor. And I own Saved by Grace Through Faith Logistics, which is a trucking company along with my husband. And I also have 24-Hour Entrepreneur, which is a hub for Bible-believing business owners to come together, gain accountability, help, resources, and community. And I'm also the author of The Christian Entrepreneur.
Wow, you have several things going on. That is amazing. I'm like, this is going to be so exciting for me. Okay, y'all. Okay. So I know that you haven't always been the author, the CEO, the 24-hour entrepreneur. I know this. So can you tell the listeners a little bit about the mess that you may have gone through in your life?
Absolutely. So in about 2007, well, I just bring it up a little bit, maybe about 2009, 10 era, I was going through a really, really rough patch in my life. I was a single mom and newly single mom. I was separated from my then husband, and I was going through an ugly divorce, and I had two small children. And life was just I was just trying to figure out life. I was trying to be a hairstylist. So I had my cosmetology license out of high school. And I was trying to work in a salon here, salon there, and just working at Walmart part-time. And then, just working at a call center the other half. And I was just really trying to figure out life. And it was really, really hard for us. I've shared before that we kind of like eviction notices was kind of just the norm for us. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like I kind of knew the process, like I got some time here. I'm gonna figure this out. And just not really operating in purpose, not intentional, just kind of going with the flow of life. Whatever was happening was happening. And around 2010, 11, I received my life was really like spiraling kind of out of control. And I got an offer from my grandparents. They lived in Wisconsin, a place that I said I would never, ever, ever go to again. They said, hey, we're having problems with the family company. And, you kind of really could use some help right now. So you and the kids can move here and work for the family company and just kind of get yourself together. My grandmother, she offered to be there, to help support me with my boys. And they were 7 and 4 at the time. And I just kind of knew it was a God thing. I knew that at that point in time in my life, I couldn't pass any type of opportunities where it could help me. And so my family and friends, everybody had bets like she's not going nowhere. And I was telling everybody, oh, I'm leaving. Oh, when the kids get out of school, like I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. And so I actually sold everything that I had. I even gave some stuff away for free. I just kind of let go of everything. And even in that, I was kind of getting kicked down. I lost my last paycheck from my job the day I was supposed to leave. I was getting gas at the gas station. I was mugged. Someone jumped in my car while I was driving gas and drove off. I mean, when I tell you I was just like consistently under attack. Like, I couldn't make some of the stuff up. So I knew that if forces were fighting this hard for me to just give up, I knew that if I just was able to get away, I knew I could kind of see a little bit of sunshine. And so that's what I did. I borrowed $150 from a friend because I lost my paycheck. And they were like, we're going to mail it, da, 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 So my urgency was not their urgency.
Right,
So
right, right.
I got in my car and I drove my car across country. I put my kids on the train with my grandparents, and me and my uncle, we got in my car and we drove to Milwaukee, Wisconsin on August 22nd of 2011, August 27th of 2011. And it was just, I mean, I'm not going to say I walked into just a brand new life, because there were some trials and tribulations, but it was me taking that first step, that first leap of faith, that first step to get me out of my mess and get me out of everything that was trying to pull me down, including myself, you know, the familiarity of things, you know, the crutches that I had here at home, the excuses and the comfortableness of everything. So yeah, I moved to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and started working in my family's business. 2 weeks in, I moved into our first apartment in Wisconsin, unfamiliar territory, but I was determined to make a better life for me and my children at that time. And I had no idea I was walking into who God had created me to be. I had no idea that that was what that step was doing. And I did. And, you know, I got there, I started working in the family business. Um, and things got shaky even there, you know, but even in that, I was able to kind of see myself, see the mistakes I had made myself, see where I was blaming everybody else for my situation and not looking at and hold myself accountable for some situations that I had put myself in. I was able to like literally just get myself together. Mentally, I was all over the place.
That was
um,
you're reading my mind, because literally I was just about to say, I was going to say, so before you move, so because this is you're going to say before you move, how were you mentally? Like you're about to say all over the place. Like talk about that.
you know, just even now my adult life, understanding your mental frame of mind, your capacity is something new, because it's like, oh, you go through stuff, but you'll get over it. But I mean, I was really, even before I got there and being there, especially in an unfamiliar place and a big change, before I got there, I mean, I was definitely all over the place. I've struggled with anxiety very, very bad. Breakdowns, when you say mental breakdowns, I mean, it was like I had become to a point where I was comfortable. If I'm not in a panic, if I'm not mentally unstable in this moment, then something's not right.
Mm.
And I knew that it's like it was my best friend. And when I moved and started to, you know, gain control and, you know, better myself, it was like just having just even clear, positive thoughts. It was like, oh no, like, no, you're used to having a chaotic mind and you're not going to a new place. Like, we stuck together, you know? And it was a very tough time for me to be able to allow God and allow people to help me, even in just everyday things, just thinking positive, not having a what if mentality, like, oh, okay, what if this goes wrong, or what if that happens, or what if, you know, I do this, or what if, you know, that was the struggling tool, you know, and just trying to better myself, because I was everywhere here. I mean, breakdowns after breakdowns, you know, having a cry out in the car and then get myself together and go back in, and not being able to ask for help was something that was easy too before I had made a transition. And even in the transition, you know, just allowing people to, you know, pray for me, or allowing somebody to speak positive in my life, or to be able to receive it, was like a defense mechanism, you know, kind of like, I don't need that right now. I'm okay. I'm good. And I really wasn't. So being truthful to myself helped me to overcome a lot of what I was going through mentally.
And you kind of started to touch on, I was just going to ask, because you said like mentally break, for you to say breakdowns was like the norm and like having a panic attack, like if you wasn't panicking, then it was like something was wrong if you were not panicking. How did that affect your emotion? Like you said, you would go and just cry out, but like emotionally, how did that take a toll on you?
It took a toll on me emotionally because it struck like a fear in me. So I'm always fearful. It really kind of gave those breakdowns and just the being mentally unstable kind of really brought in a strong presence of fear. So I was afraid all the time of every little thing, and then that started to strike like negative thoughts because I'm afraid. So I'm thinking like negative thoughts because I'm afraid of every little thing, anything somebody says. If I'm just driving down the street, I'm sad all the time, I'm on the verge of going off or crying out. And so fear and torment really that kind of stuck to me. That was kind of like the emotional roller coaster I was on because I didn't want to do anything. Even in that time, I kind of was doing like a little, because I always wanted to be an actress. So even in that time, I was still trying to get different auditions. And I'd have friends and people would call me and say, hey, you know what? If you're close to Chicago, you should go audition for something. And I would drive all the way to Chicago and I just sit in the car.
Are you serious?
And I'd be so afraid.
Wait a minute. You would drive to Chicago from where?
From Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, from Houston and just
no, from Wisconsin. But even here, that stuck with me even when I got to Milwaukee for the first year or two, because even being here, I would drive to New Orleans because I was with an agency in New Orleans, and they would set me up on things and do things, and I would just walk out. I would see someone else come in prettier, and I would get like a little comparison complex, and oh, her shoes look a little better than mine. Like she's walking so confident. I'm gonna just go because I had already picked them for her, picked her for them, and so emotionally, man, sadness is like a dark cloud kind of hovered over me, and that just goes because I just really didn't know who I was, and I wouldn't allow anybody else to pour into me, even though I knew the things to do, and that just with my disappointment with myself, and which I wouldn't have never agreed to at that time, but just my disappointment with my life and just the circumstances and some of the consequences that were consequences of some of my actions, it kind of had me, girl, when you get to a place that you are mentally, emotionally out of there, unstable, it can really can play mind tricks on you and have you sometimes blaming everybody around you and not being able to take accountability, And I think that one of the reasons why it was so important for me to move away was that I was finally able to see me, and I couldn't lie to myself anymore, and I couldn't lie to those around me because I'm there by myself.
Right. And that I was just about to go back because you said like emotions, like a dark cloud was over you. You were always sad. So and before when you moved and you didn't have other people around. No. And you didn't allow people to pour into you. So how did that affect you socially as far as like with friends and things like that?
Girl, there was no social life at all. I would try to make friends. I made friends in Wisconsin, maybe my third year being there, second to third year being there, actual friends, being here, like I would answer my friend's call, maybe sometimes not. If they did say something that was triggering, then it was like delete. Oh, I'm not answering her phone calls. And I had to learn down the line, like I really let some good friends go due to, and some good friendships go due to a lot of the things that I was going through during that time because I couldn't see outside of myself, you know.
Right. Yeah. And so your status of life at this time, like you kind of explained it already at the beginning. You have the kids,
Mm-hmm.
you're struggling financially,
Mm-hmm.
struggling mentally. Your status of life, like how would you describe it?
So after I started to make changes and things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
um, so so once I started to shed, just guilt, shame, and some things that I was dealing with personally. Um, I mean, life became a beautiful thing because I started to make good relationships, and I had already been making good relationships with some people that we work with in business. So people would invite me out. Oh, you're the owner, or you're taking over so and so. She's the new face of, Terry Lynn. This is the granddaughter. You should come to this. You should come to that. And I was like, you know what? It's time for me to start really utilizing, like, I have some good gifts and talents and abilities, and people like me, and I like being around people, and I can't allow myself to keep holding back, all these gifts and talents and everything that is great about me. And I had to see myself as great. I had to accept some things about myself, and not just the negative parts, but the good parts also. And so life became a lot brighter and beautiful, especially once I started to mingle with people from work and people who I work with on different contracts and with different students. And it began to really change and cultivate who I am now, because I was able to like really embrace me, and like I said, the good and the bad, and be able to share like my experiences, because during that, we did go through some ups and downs in business. Also, even during my time there in Wisconsin, we lost contracts. We had to work hard to get contracts. We went through a couple of lawsuits, which I had learned, like, okay, that's normal in the business world. But before, I had no idea. But going through those hardships kind of really developed character,
Yeah.
and it developed just some good experience. And it helped me to see, okay, you know what? Even though I'm in this place, I'm learning me, I'm learning business, and I'm being able, okay, to take over my parents, my family business. It began to create um, a full life for me, a fullness of life that I hadn't experienced before, and that I don't think I would have experienced otherwise being here in Texas. And I love Texas, but just my situation during that time.
Right. And let me ask this. Okay, because let's say if there's someone going through the same type of situation mentally, emotionally, and having mental breakdowns and emotionally not stable and going through mess.
Yeah.
How, like, you were able to move, you were able to get away from this particular environment in Texas. How did you clean up the mess? Like when I say clean up the mess, you moved, but then you still had to, once you got to Wisconsin, what did you do? How did you change the way you were thinking?
So all I had was my grandparents.
Okay.
And grandparents sometimes not gonna say sometimes, majority of the times, they are very truthful. They're very honest. And my grandmother, she would let me know, you got a really ugly attitude. You're such a pretty girl, but you got an ugly attitude. And I'm like, me? Ugly attitude? So I don't have nobody else to talk to. So I'm sitting here and she's very honest with me, and she's teaching me all of these life lessons and teaching me all of these things. But she was honest with me about who I was, and I didn't have nobody else to turn to, like, oh, okay, nobody to pacify me in this moment. And I had to kind of deal with me, you know. Um, it's easy for you to lie to yourself. We can make ourselves believe anything about ourselves.
Yep.
And it was me and my children, and children are brutally honest, and they'll let you know sometimes, and me being able to get away from what was familiar, being able to allow my, devotion, go to church, then have family members that was, not pacifying me, because I wanted to, I was used to being around people who were not always honest to me about me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not because they were bad people, but because, when you're friends, you're like, oh, okay, sometimes, learning the true meaning of friendship is not always getting along and pacifying your girlfriend. It's like being honest and truthful and telling them this and that. So I was able to build a network of people that was able to be truthful with me. And I had to tell my friends, like, I need you to start holding me accountable.
That's good.
I need you to be truthful with me now. Like, even if I get mad, even if we don't talk for a month or whatever, like, I need you to, because I'm trying to work with me and build me, and I need people around me to be honest with me and to be truthful with me about me. So, with that, of course, much prayer. And I just had to be honest with myself about my situation. And clearly I wasn't doing something right if I made it here. So, okay, let me be open to different opportunities. Let me be open to new. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let me change maybe what I'm listening to. Let me change maybe what I'm seeing. If I'm seeing negative and drama and this and this and that, let me start changing some things so that I can be good for me. And it was a difference. It was a big difference. And it was hard at times, but it was important to me because I wanted to be a better mother. I wanted to be a better friend. And I wanted to be a better individual for those around me, my family members, because I wasn't a good friend. I would lie to my friends. And I was just talking about this in my accountability group. Like, I would lie to my friends, like, girl, what? You ain't wrong, you right. This is because, and we're gonna be wrong. If you wrong, I'm wrong. We're gonna be wrong together, and it's like, no, no, for real. Like, you have to be honest, because that's what we're looking for. That's what people are looking for, and if you can't be that, if you can't be truthful and honest with your good girlfriends, your brothers, your sisters, then
who can you really be honest with?
who can you be honest with? And so that was kind of some hard things that I had to do during that time in my life. And I did reach out to some friends that I did just cut off, and some, were receptive, and some was like, girl, get off my line, but that was something that I had to deal with, because of my mess.
Right. So let me fast forward.
Okay.
So that would, well, not to, but I'm just thinking, like, what you're saying about your mess and things like that from then. So I just want to know, how did you go? And I'm sure listeners want to know, how did you go from where you were to where you are now with as many things that you have and that you do? How did you get there?
So, after I worked with my family's business, the business was passed down to my grandmother, got ill, and it was passed down to me and my brother and my uncle. And we ran that business, and we changed some things, and it just struck something in me. Like, of course, I had already been, a self-employed, majority of my adult career, but just owning and taking over my family's business changed a lot of things for me, because I was now the face of everything. And people were looking at me like, oh, okay. It was kind of like a seat that I had to just kind of step into. And okay, because my brother was looking at me, my uncle was looking at me like, okay, so how are we going to do this now? And I just had to move forward. So we took over the family business. And then I met my now husband, and we started a business on our own. And I left the family business to my uncle, and we started our business together. And I mean, I just never looked back with the tools that I had learned and the resources that I had working for my family business. That just kind of gave me the stepping stone I needed to just um, walk into my now life. And it was very, very rewarding, because I now had a business partner that, of course, I love, and we're seeing the same vision. And we started Saved by Grace Through Faith, and with that, we wanted to name SBGTF Logistics, what we named it, Saved by Grace Through Faith, and just honor God in that business, and just give that business back to God. And in doing that, it was just like a revelation to me one day, like, okay, you know what? I've been through so much in business, and we've been through so much in business. I want to share my experiences with other business owners. I've been through a lot. I just jumped into this business world, no business degree, no former college, but I just jumped into this business world, took over my family's company, went on to start a second company, and we've had some rocky roads. So I want to share with others. I want to share with other business owners. So my husband and I, we decided to move back to Houston in 2017, and we moved our company here from Wisconsin, and we also started Safe House Realty. So we have rental properties in Wisconsin. And we moved here, and that's how 24-hour entrepreneur was born, because I said, okay, how am I going to do this? I can't just, I'm helping people start their businesses, because people are saying, you're doing transportation. I want to do transportation. How do you get into transportation? So I would start having meetings and helping people. And I said, well, let me put a name to this. So I started the 24-hour entrepreneur, and that's what we just started sharing business tools and things of that nature. And then word of mouth just started sharing. And people started sharing and saying, hey, she started my business. She started helping me and telling me about taxes, and telling me about how to set my business up right, and telling me how to bookkeep. So, she's this and she's that. So that's kind of how it started. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go with this thing, 24-hour entrepreneur. And then that's how I got here, just taking opportunities. So when people started offering opportunities to me, I would take them. I like to, I always encourage others, when opportunities come and good opportunities come, set yourself up for those, and don't be afraid to take them, because you never know what opportunity will come from the next. And even in business, I had lost plenty of contracts, but just having business relationships and people saying, oh, she did this for us, and her company, they are good at what they do. They work with integrity. You should work with them. And so then I get another call. Hey, so-and-so told me about you. Are you ready? And sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm prepared, but I see the opportunity in it, and I see how it can change others' lives, and I see how it can create jobs for others. So I'm going to take it, and we're going to work this thing out. I'm going to give my team, we're going to take this opportunity. So that was one big thing that helped me to kind of move up the ladder and help me to be where I am today, is really, really taking risk and taking advantage of opportunities when they came, and not being afraid. That was something important to me. And that's what I tell my kids and anyone who's looking for any type of advice. Don't be afraid to take opportunity. I'm always telling my kids, don't save for a rainy day, save for an opportunity, because sometimes opportunity comes and it's a price tag to it. Are you willing to sacrifice a little money for this opportunity that's come, because it'll help you in the long run, even not even just, financially, but time wise, it's going to take a little time from you. set yourself up for, opportunities when they come. So that is something that was really helpful. And then in 2019, I wrote The Christian Entrepreneur. And that was me putting everything down on paper on how, I started to run my business and how I started to, the tools, the mental and emotional tools I used from the Bible to create a successful business. So that is like my sweetheart, my book. It talks about, prayer, accountability. It talks about, your mindset, and that was having to gain control and change my mindset was a big part of me growing mentally, of me growing emotionally, and gaining control of those mental attacks and that emotional, unstable state I was in was really actually changing my mind frame and my mindset on how I saw myself, how I saw life, how I saw opportunity, how I saw others. So yeah, that was it.
I'm jumping in. Okay, everything that you just said, like I was gonna say, give some words of encouragement, but literally all of that, what you just said was so encouraging. I know you're saying that's what you did. And what I'm saying is exactly what you just said you did is what I'm hoping people will be encouraged to do, because that was it, like point by point. And so let me
Absolutely.
ask, if someone, because you said, is it in the book, some of the things that you did mentally and emotionally? So if someone wanted to contact you or get a hold of the book, how can they do that?
So you can purchase my book on 24hourentrepreneur.com. That's 24hrentrepreneur.com. And you can go to the shop tab, and right under the shop tab, you can click shop, and there's some products there. And my book is one of the products there. And it's actually on sale through the month of March, from throughout the month of March, and it's on sale for $9.99. It's normally $15.99. You can go directly to my website and purchase it. Some people love Amazon. It's also on Amazon, and it's also on Barnes and Noble. But sometimes they take maybe like 2 to 3 weeks to get it. But if you purchase directly from my website, you can get it within 3 to 5 days.
Okay, awesome. And are you still helping people get businesses started?
Yes.
How can someone do that?
Yes. So you can go to my website and schedule a consultation, and we can go through how to start your business, what type of business you should start. And we talk about just like your purpose. We talk about what your natural gifts and abilities are, because a lot of people want to start businesses but don't know where to start. Or they have opportunities in areas that they're not sure of, but it can help them utilize or use their natural gifts and abilities, even in those businesses that they don't think. So we do a nice brainstorming session that I have on the website. You can go and book one of those. You can email me at info@24hourentrepreneur.com. I respond to emails. If you're on social media, all my social media platforms is 24 Hour Entrepreneur. Twitter is BizMagnate, BizMagnate, but you can pretty much find me anywhere on there. Make sure you put HR, because it's somebody else's 24HOUR, but it's 24HR. That's where you can reach me. I have an accountability group every Monday. People are free to jump on Mondays to join the accountability group. It's every Monday via Zoom and via our Facebook community. So the Facebook community is the Christian Entrepreneur Network. And you can, it's a private group, and I go live in there every Monday evening at 7 p.m. And anybody can join that as well. And so we have quarterly events, where business owners come together that, you can join and things of that nature. So if you go to my website, and before you purchase your book, you can sign up for my email subscription. And then when you sign up for my email subscription, when you subscribe to the email list, that will keep you up with everything that's going on. So we send the email about 1 to 2 days a week, and that gives you all the updates. When the book goes on sale, that gives you the updates on the accountability group. When we have community meetups, that gives you all the information you need for 24-hour entrepreneur.
Awesome. And before we wrap up, I want to ask you this question really quickly. I know you were awarded an award the other day.
Yes.
Can you tell everyone what was the award that you received?
I received the presidential lifetime achievement award, signed and given by President Joe Biden. I'm so thankful to God for it. I'm so thankful for the community of ladies. It went through the organization Christian Women in Leadership, and I mean, it was amazing. There were some amazing women in the house. A princess from Nigeria, she was awarded. I mean, it was a time to be in a room full of influential people. And sometimes you don't think about the influence that you make on different communities, but you know, what you're doing is amazing, Tracy. Like, I really, really love the podcast. I was super excited when you invited me on, just to be awarded, you know, through the organization. It kind of motivated me to continue the works that we do, because you never know who you're helping, you never know who you're inspiring, you never know who you're motivating. And it was just a blessing to walk in the room and some people know who you are and you don't even know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know they know me. So I was very, very excited for that, to be an honoree in that evening. It was just amazing. It was amazing. And my mom, she came with me, and it was just a good time to spend time with my mom and just to get that award. And they gave me a pen. Oh, I did have it on my desk, but it's not here anymore. They gave me a pen and a personalized letter from the president, and it was just an amazing accomplishment, and I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful. I did have it up here, but I guess my husband put it up because I was like, I want to look at this for a little bit.
And I want to tell you congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
I am so proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
I have seen you grow from a young lady into a mature woman. And you are very influential. And as you can see with that award, you also make a difference in other people's lives. And you're worthy, just as worthy as a princess
Yes.
from any other
Yes.
country, to
Yes.
be in that room. And
Yes.
so thank
Thank
you for
you.
everything that you've done. And I wanted to make sure I congratulated you
Thank
on your
you.
job well done.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you. This means a lot to me. I am so thankful for you, Tracy. You gave me my first job way back, at JCPenney's. And I mean, thank you so much. Just even for the opportunity back then, I am so thankful, and thankful for being a part of this podcast. This is such a blessing. Thank you.
No problem. And I'm going to ask you, do you have any not last minute, but last words you would like to leave the listeners with? Maybe some words of advice or encouragement?
Yes, I said I did write down some words. Yes, so don't be afraid to be confident and be your authentic self. What is for you is for you. No one can take what's from you. Your tribe will find you. Blessings will find you. Things will find you. Just continue to be who you are, and embrace who God has created you to be.
Those are awesome words. Embrace who God has created you to be. And so as we wrap up this episode of What's Your Mess, I want to leave you with this. Remember, if you want to be sad, live in the past. If you want to be anxious and worried, keep thinking about the future. But if you want to be happy, Live in the present and be grateful for the things that you do have today. This is Tracy D. Armstrong with What's Your Mess? Have a good day, y'all.